gonna make my home with the birds and the bees and the squirrels. They can count on me when I grow up to be a dream.
I'm standing in front of the prehistoric plant garden. There has been a prehistoric plant garden at the Cleveland Metroparks Zoo since the 1950s. The original location of prehistoric plant garden was where the current Australian Adventure area is, so we really could not interpret it within Australian Adventure, so we decided to find a new location. Two of the called living fossils that were located at the spot that I'm at, one of the dawn redwoods and a ginkgo tree.
Why are they called living fossils?
When they go back into the fossil records, a lot of, again, the plants that have been fossilized have died out over periods of extinction. But other plants survive the environment and the weather changes. But they were able to survive in maybe some little pocket, you know, some mountain range in China, like the dawn redwood. They can find those in fossil records.
So it's the ones that actually have been found in fossil records.
They identified the fossils and says this matches up exactly with the plants that are currently growing. When we originally decided to have dinosaurs years ago, we chose the site behind Waterfowl Lake due to the fact of the natural environs here. It was an underutilized area. When the dinosaur manufacturer company saw the site, they were overjoyed because it was the best site they had ever seen. You know, again, we have vine-covered trees, this heavily wooded hillside. We wanted to build onto what the existing plant material was. We chose, again, the hardy plants that are prehistoric, but the bulk of our vegetation that we utilized to get the Jurassic theme are tropical plants.
When the spring comes by, I'm gonna get real green. If the dogs come by, I'm gonna get real mean. On windy days, I'll bend and lean. When I grow up, I'm gonna get real green.
And I contact 3 to 4 tropical growers in Florida. Then we have them shipped up to Cleveland a week or so before the dinosaurs arrive, and then we have 2 to 3 weeks to install them before the exhibit opens. So the sites, when we cite the actual locations of the dinosaurs, we lay it out using some of the landscaping design practices, trying to block off the view of unsightly areas. Before we plant, we bring in the logs, the barriers to try to keep the public at bay. In addition, we try to bring in grapevines and branches to try to have some physical barrier to prevent the public from just walking over the plants. Sometimes we're successful and sometimes we're not successful. Landscape design that we draw up is basically a starting point. And we adjust the planting plan once the dinosaurs are in place.
We put a fabric cloth on them to hide the metal cages, and then what we do is then we go ahead and put leaves on it to cover it up to make it look more natural. And then what we'll do is we'll start placing the plants to kind of give it more of a natural setting. And then after that, then we'll come back with more leaves and more rocks to hide everything and make it look as natural as possible.
The goal is to make the dinosaurs appear like they're in a more natural habitat and hide all the workings.
You know how in years past we have Spanish moss hanging from the trees and the vines hanging down? Well, this is what we're doing now.
Spanish moss probably was not around at the age of the dinosaurs, but it just has that swamp, you know, creature of the black lagoon feel. And so again, that's just one of those artistic licenses that we utilize. You think you're going through the swamps of Savannah, Georgia, looking at the moss, the Spanish moss encrusted trees and vines throughout the exhibit.